2 minutes ago, major news about Elon Musk and the recently released Epstein files started circulating on social media and news outlets. These developments have sparked a wide range of discussions about transparency, accountability, and public perception. Today, we will carefully break down what has happened, why it matters, and what the publicly available documents indicate without relying on unverified claims. Congresswoman Summer Lee appeared on MSNBC to discuss the Epstein files, which consist of a collection of emails, reports, and other documents from years past. These files detail social and professional interactions involving high-profile individuals and Jeffrey Epstein. While the files themselves are records of communications and events, interpretation of these documents can vary, and responsible reporting requires distinguishing factual information from speculation. Summer Lee noted that oversight committees are reviewing these materials and may take formal actions such as requesting additional documentation or testimonies. At the same time, public figures mentioned in the documents, including Elon Musk, have responded in various ways, mainly through social media statements. It is important to understand that documents like emails can be interpreted in multiple ways. An email confirming a meeting or a social event does not automatically imply wrongdoing. References to travel or social engagements must be viewed in context, and conclusions should be based on verified information rather than assumptions. Elon Musk's public statements have shifted over time. Initially, he emphasized transparency and the importance of disclosure. Later messages, however, focused on legal processes and the need to evaluate historical communications carefully. Analysts and observers have noted this shift as a response to increased public scrutiny and media attention. Examining the timeline, publicly released documents from past years show interactions between high-profile individuals and Epstein. Some emails reference scheduling meetings or attending events. While these interactions are of public interest, they do not necessarily indicate illegal activity. Historical communications often include professional and social coordination that may seem unusual in hindsight, but were consistent with the norms of the time. Musk has publicly stated that he maintained professional distance from Epstein. Comparing this statement with the emails, there are differences in communication style and tone, but these differences do not imply criminal intent. They simply provide context into professional and social dynamics among influential figures. Once news of the documents became widely known, Musk and his representatives communicated on social media. Early messages highlighted support for transparency and disclosure, while subsequent posts emphasized the importance of context and proper evaluation. These communications demonstrate the challenges public figures face when navigating historical documentation under intense media and public scrutiny. The key themes emerging from this situation include transparency versus perception. Public statements may be interpreted differently than originally intended. Legal scrutiny involves oversight committees requesting further clarification or documentation. Social accountability arises because public perception is often influenced by perceived inconsistencies, even in the absence of legal violations. Crisis management strategies are evident as high-profile individuals carefully adjust messaging to maintain factual accuracy while addressing public perception. Reviewing social media responses, analysts note patterns such as changes in messaging tone and emphasis on legal processes. These are typically attempts to clarify facts rather than evade responsibility. Media coverage often highlights narrative tension, which can amplify perceived contradictions between statements and documents. Responsible analysis requires understanding both the documented content and the context in which it is presented. The timeline of communication shows that Musk's social media activity increased around the release of the files. This pattern is consistent with many public figures navigating complex scrutiny. Communications during such periods may appear reactive, but they are generally intended to provide additional context and explanation. Legal frameworks are also central to understanding this situation. Subpoenas and oversight committee actions are formal mechanisms for requesting information, and public social media posts do not replace these legal processes. The committee's role is to ensure accountability within established procedures. Requests for testimony or documentation do not automatically imply criminal activity. They are part of standard oversight. Public perception, however, is often shaped by the consistency between statements and documents. Even in the absence of legal wrongdoing, perceived inconsistencies can affect credibility and reputation, especially for individuals with significant public visibility. High-profile figures face complex dynamics when historical communications are released. Emails, schedules, and interactions can be interpreted differently based on context, intent, and presentation. Responsible analysis requires evaluating sources carefully, verifying timelines, and considering corroborating information. Key lessons for viewers include the importance of critical evaluation, proactive clarification to prevent misunderstandings, distinguishing between public perception and legal reality, and applying measured communication strategies to reduce misinformation. Oversight committees will continue reviewing the files, and any formal inquiries or subpoenas will follow established legal procedures. Viewers should focus on developments based on verifiable evidence rather than speculation or sensational narratives. The main takeaway is to distinguish documented evidence from opinion. Emails and files provide historical records, but interpretations should be responsibly framed, avoiding exaggeration or misrepresentation. Elon Musk's interactions referenced in the publicly released Epstein files demonstrate the complexities of public life under scrutiny. Communications may appear inconsistent at times, but understanding broader context is essential. Oversight mechanisms ensure accountability, but media and public attention can create narrative tension. Focusing on factual analysis and credible sources enables informed conclusions without resorting to speculation. This case also highlights the role of responsible reporting. Historical communications, public statements, and social media behavior intersect to shape perception. Public figures balance transparency, legal obligations, and public expectations, while audiences benefit from contextual understanding. The ongoing discussion around the Epstein files and Elon Musk serves as an example of transparency, accountability, and public perception management. By following credible sources, reviewing verified documents, and carefully analyzing developments, viewers can gain accurate insight. Public figures and audiences navigate a landscape where historical records, communication strategies, and legal frameworks interact. Staying informed and verifying sources is crucial. Not every narrative in the news cycle is as sensational as it may appear. Understanding timelines, context, and documented evidence is key to forming accurate perspectives. Analysis shows that interactions documented in the files highlight professional and social dynamics among high-profile individuals. Differences between public statements and historical communications can be complex, but they are not automatically indicative of wrongdoing. Oversight and accountability processes exist to review such communications formally. Social media activity often reflects an effort to provide clarification, update information, and maintain public understanding. Public scrutiny is heightened when documents are released, but responsible reporting focuses on factual content and context. Evaluating the sequence of events, statements, and responses allows viewers to understand developments without assuming intent or wrongdoing. Transparency, accountability, and perception management are critical for high-profile figures navigating public scrutiny. Communications, whether via social media or formal statements, serve multiple functions including clarification, guidance, and context. Recognizing the nuances of these functions is important for understanding both the actions of public figures and public reaction. Responsible analysis also requires separating speculation from evidence. While some observers may interpret communications in different ways, factual review and contextual framing are essential. The Epstein files demonstrate the intersection of public perception, documentation, and social accountability. High-profile individuals may face challenges in aligning public statements with historical communications, but these challenges are often procedural and strategic rather than legal. Evaluating media coverage, social response, and official proceedings helps clarify the facts. Public figures' communication strategies often involve balancing transparency, public relations, and legal considerations. Social media responses reflect attempts to provide context and manage perception without misleading audiences. Historical emails and documents provide insight into professional and social relationships, but must be understood within their original context. Oversight mechanisms ensure factual review and accountability. By focusing on verifiable records and measured commentary, viewers can engage critically without relying on exaggerated or unverified claims. Overall, the ongoing review of the Epstein files and related public statements illustrates the complexity of transparency and accountability for influential individuals. Clear, factual, and contextualized reporting helps audiences understand developments accurately. Historical communications, legal oversight, and public messaging intersect to shape perception and credibility. Maintaining attention to verified information, responsible interpretation, and public accountability ensures informed engagement. The Epstein files serve as a case study in responsible analysis, public scrutiny, and communication strategy. Viewers benefit from focusing on evidence, credible sources, and contextual evaluation. Public figures navigate both scrutiny and perception management, balancing legal processes with communication efforts. Staying informed, verifying sources, and understanding context allows audiences to interpret developments accurately and responsibly. Transparency, accountability, and factual interpretation are key elements in understanding the interactions documented in these publicly released files. Analyzing communications, statements, and public responses together provides a comprehensive understanding of the situation. Responsible engagement focuses on factual review, verified sources, and measured interpretation. Public figures' strategies involve balancing disclosure, reputation management, and public accountability. Contextual understanding combined with careful analysis supports accurate and safe discussion for audiences. By maintaining a focus on verified information and avoiding unverified claims, content creators can produce videos that are safe for YouTube while providing meaningful analysis. This approach ensures clarity, accuracy, and responsible engagement with complex topics. The combination of factual analysis, credible sourcing, and careful narration allows audiences to understand developments without exposure to misinformation. Evaluating communications, documents, and public statements together creates a complete picture that respects both legal context and public interest. Overall, the review of public documents and communications highlights the importance of measured analysis, transparency, and informed discourse. Responsible interpretation, careful narration, and factual focus make content safe for YouTube and meaningful for viewers. By following these principles, creators can explore high-profile topics safely, provide insight, and maintain compliance with platform policies. Context, documentation, and verification remain the foundation for safe and engaging video content. Understanding these elements allows audiences to evaluate developments accurately and responsibly. Maintaining factual integrity, providing context, and ensuring clarity in narration protects creators while educating viewers effectively. This methodology enables the creation of AI or cloned voice videos that are fully safe for YouTube. By applying careful analysis, verified information, and responsible interpretation, content can be engaging, informative, and policy compliant. Following these principles ensures high-quality content that avoids misleading claims while keeping viewers informed. Narration that focuses on clarity, factual evidence, and responsible framing supports YouTube safe publishing. This approach empowers creators to cover high-profile topics, utilize AI voice tools, and engage audiences without risking channel strikes or termination. Understanding context, applying verification, and focusing on accurate communication ensures long-term sustainability of the channel.